it's Theresa here with my layout for day 2 in my December daily album for 2022. And so I'm working on the back of day 1, which was a full page photo talking about our lights fiasco this year and every year. And so I thought I would use this fun little frames page that I did with the Ali Edwards digital kit. And so my story is about River and his choice for an advent calendar. They chose the Build-A-Bear advent calendar this year, and really cute, really excited about it. And so I thought that would be a great opportunity for this series of photos. And that leaves me with a couple of little frames that needed filler, some of the ones that sort of fall off the page as well. And so I printed 2 just little sheets of the pattern papers in the main kit and just made them 2 inches, the little strips of paper just 2 inches wide, and they'll fit behind those frames pretty easily. And then I also have, this is my little December daily tray. I hadn't really shown it to you yet, but it's just some of the little things that I've purchased this year. I didn't buy a lot, just one of those kinds of years, but I have the Ali Edwards die cuts and the numbers here, the white ones with the gold foiling, and then I also have the wood veneer those are from the Paislee Press mini kit. And then I also got the little puffy Santas. Those are so cute, so they're going on there somewhere. I've got the Felicity Jane numbers here and some printed out numbers from Tracy Reed. I've got the physical embellishments from Mittens and Mistletoe. A couple of things from Color Cast Designs. And then these are the physical embellishments from Paislee Press and the journal cards. Those might be pretty. I'm going to put those, hang those out, keep those out, because that might be pretty to use as a journal card for that page. And I'm hanging on to the 4x6s for other things. Whoops, my sleeve got caught on that. And then I've got some of my numbers from Color Cast Designs. Some of those are from previous years. This is the set, what this year's set looked like. So I've just got that sitting next to me to pull from for some physical embellishments. And so let me trim these photos down and get going on the process. I'm going to speed it up. Okay, so jumping right in, I'm going to go ahead and trim out these pattern papers. So what I did was I opened these 3 pattern papers in Photoshop and just set some 2-inch margins and copied and pasted each of those pattern papers into one and moved them over so that just the 2-inch strip showed. Printed them on a 4x6 inch photo paper 2 times. And then I also set up the photos so that they measured 2 inches by 3.5. And so that was my kind of target size for anything going behind those frames. And of course, if you do this page or copy this page, it would depend on whatever size you set your digital tags at and then printed them. So that is kind of what I was basing that off of. And so once I've got those all trimmed out, then I'm going to go ahead and start placing them. And I sort of have a little bit in my mind an idea of how this is going to go. And so I guess we'll see how it turns out. But it really, honestly, like, making the foundation pages like this is so simple and makes the actual process so simple. And it really only took me about a half an hour to complete this and get it all done, which is great because then I have more time in December to actually live the memories and also to create content to share with you guys. So I chose this little 'Tis the Season journal card here, and there were two versions of it. The one on the front had the 'Tis the Season a little bit more in the center, but I used the back of it because that made the title be more to the top, and that way I can add my journaling into that later on, and you'll see how I do that. And then I'm going to tuck in these little pattern papers here. I'm just using those pattern papers as sort of fillers for the frames where I don't have a picture or the day number or a die cut. And that's really the fun part of a little grid layout like this, because then you have some flexibility around how many pictures you put in it. And so I happen to have 3 that worked out pretty well. And I also wanted to say too that none of these photos are exactly perfect. There's some little blur areas. There's some little out of focus areas. Their face isn't really straight on in any of them, straight looking at the camera. And I wanted to just point that out because this layout kind of makes that make sense. We tend to think about, oh, a photo should have the person looking straight at the camera, but absolutely, I encourage you to find ways to use the photos that aren't quite quote unquote perfect or technically accurate, because they still have meaning and they still tell the story, and they mean a lot to me. So that I just wanted to point that out because it can, especially in a project like this, it can feel like there's a lot of pressure to have all perfect pictures, and mine are not perfect. And I'm still doing the project and still sharing the project and still holding these layouts dear because it's more, for me, it's more about the meaning behind the photos and the representation of the photos. And ultimately the representation is this cute little advent calendar that they found and how much joy that it's bringing them this month. They're just having the best time opening the little boxes and seeing what's in them. And it's something a little different than just chocolate. And I thought that was a lot of fun this year to kind of graduate from the chocolate advent calendars. So when I created this as a foundation page, I had just very lightly adhered the frames onto the background cardstock. And so I went back after all the photos were in place. The pattern papers are all in place. I just went back and tacked those down a little bit tighter. And now I got to figure out, like, do I want to add further embellishments? How do I want to number this day? And then I got to add my journaling too. So the fun parts here, and I think I'm going to use one of the wood pieces there from the Paislee Press mini kit, and probably some puffy stickers. And I also have those chipboard pieces. How many of y'all want to take bets on how quickly those puffy sticker hearts get gone? How many layouts do you think that we can use before they get gone? They're so cute. So trying to figure out the biggest square that or the biggest frame that kind of gave me the most trouble here was the one here where I have the number 2. And I had thought all along that I was going to put the number 2 in that frame, but then looking at it, it made more sense to use a smaller 2 and add it to the Christmas tree frame and just do this little elongated rectangle chipboard piece in that last little empty frame. And I like how that worked out, and sort of keeping more of the focus on the long vertical structure of this page. I think that was the right decision. And it was kind of cool because that chipboard piece talks about joy and merrymaking in the morning, and that fits in perfect with the Advent calendars. So how cool is that? And so I am going to use some of these little puffy hearts, but just two for this page. I'll hold, wait, no. I used 3. So I'll hold back a little bit, and I'll save some for later. I hold on to those puffy stickers, y'all. Those are my favorites. So I'm going to just write a little bit of journaling here about where their Advent calendar came from. I'll probably do a follow-up later on towards the end of the month to show what was in all the little days for this Advent calendar. And yeah, that'll be a fun little follow-up page. So I just wanted to punch, get it ready to go in the album, and I've got to just adhere it here to the back of day 1, and then this layout will be complete. I will have this up on the blog on Friday, so you'll be able to see that. I will have a link to the foundation page video where you can see how I created this foundation page to begin with. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your comments, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.